Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. My wife is suggesting a cur. For the last year and a half, my wife, a 34-year-old female, and I have been married. However, we had been dating for 6 years before to that. Our first anniversary as a married couple will be celebrated in Las Vegas this summer, and we'll be there to celebrate. Her and I are best friends, and we engage in all events and discuss a wide range of issues together. Her experiences with threesomes have piqued my interest, and it's something I've wanted to try for a long time. Rather than the world of reality, she believes they are more appropriate for the realm of dreams, since it is very rare to create a scenario in which everyone is completely satisfied and that does not reappear later to cause problems for the parties involved. I absolutely get what you're saying. Once, one of our neighbors brought it up, and we jokingly remarked that it was almost certain that I would find up chained up in her basement as a result, with my wife having to battle her way out of her basement in order to fetch me. We eventually decided against using threesomes unless it was a very simple procedure, which was not the case in this instance. I was sure that it's a better dream if we were on vacation and met someone we'd never see again, because, yes, what I'm thinking is similar to what I see in porn. But I'd feel the responsibility of caring for so many people and wouldn't enjoy it as much as I would have if we weren't there. Therefore, it hasn't been brought up much in the media during the last several years. Whatever the case, we were discussing about our next trip. The three of us are really pleased about the upcoming events, which include concert tickets, spa days, and shopping excursions. The preparations for a celebration have begun. In a casual conversation today, she said that she had no objections to my hiring a professional if I wanted to go forward with the threesome thing. Her comment took me completely by surprise. She said that it was only a job for them so that she wouldn't have to feel uncomfortable with the situation. They are experts, and as a result, it is probable that they are very skilled at what they do. Maybe we might learn a thing or two from them. We wouldn't have to be concerned about them getting off work or anything like that because they are working. We are paying for a service, so it may still be just the two of us at the end of the day. In comparison to a random stranger in the neighborhood, they would be more secure. Thinking more reputable places where safety is important in Vegas, you have one life to live, and you want to enjoy it to the maximum. Although I had never anticipated my wife to say, "Let's go hire a prostitute." She did, and she did it in a calm and matter-of-fact way. Although I agree that hiring an expert to accomplish something like that is a terrific idea. I had never considered doing it myself in the past. The notion that I don't have to pay for it occurs to me when it comes to workers. Yet, this makes perfect sense in the context of this circumstance. Is there anything I'm missing here, or does this have a chance of succeeding? Etta, my wife and I are both quite open persons, and one of her favorite tales from her younger days was about how she traveled to Las Vegas and ended up accidentally attending a swinger party. Despite the fact that she had shown no interest in attending, she said that everyone had been quite polite, cordial, and kind to her during the event. As a result of having a fantastic time with the other people in attendance, she ended up being embroiled in it. She attended a handful of additional parties after that, but she did not get connected with anybody else during that time period, because she expressed gratitude for having done it and that it had created a nice memory/story. I am certain that it will be something similar for her. Thanks for reading my story. Story 2. Tried cheating on my wife and ruined all my friendships. The title is the most basic version of the phrase. Yes, I'm well aware of the situation. Whatever else is going on in my life, I'm a bad jerk. I'm going to tell you my story and make a slew of excuses in the process. Anyways, first and foremost, there is a backstory. M is my given name, and I'm 20 years old. I work as a floor charge nurse at a big regional hospital. The fact that the bulk of my friends are female is something that comes with the territory. Something like this is something my wife can relate to. My wife and I have been together for a total of 12 years, 6 of which were spent courting and 6 of which were spent married. We have 2 children, a house, and she is permitted to stay at home with the children and her husband. Isn't this the life of a dream? Staying at home with my wife put a greater strain on our relationship than I had anticipated when I first started. Despite the fact that she did a wonderful job with the children, I ended up shouldering the whole financial burden of my household, which included money management and income. I make certain that we have enough food in the house, prepare all of the meals, and fix any objects around the house that need to be repaired, among other things. We just acquired a new house and surprise, I was tasked with the task of organizing everything. I understand, and I'm not opposed to doing all of this in general, but I'm beginning to despise my wife for her behavior in this regard. Then I started thinking about how I work full-time, manage all of the financial obligations of the household, cooking, food shopping, cleaning, etc., and am expected to be present and joyful in front of my family. Because of this, we've spoken about it more and it's getting better. I've also told her precisely what I think about it. But I can't help but compare her to the women I work with, who are all strong registered nurses who balance a rigorous full-time career with time for their families. Backstory #2. I'm a co-worker of this individual. We've known one another for 3 years and have grown to be rather close throughout that period of time. For the last 3 months, we've been talking non-stop during the day and night. We both work straight nights. We've begun to spend more time together outside of work, and she's even been over to my house to hang out with my wife and me on a few of occasions. I've always had a thing for her, but I've never taken the initiative to pursue it, despite the fact that I've considered it. A few weeks ago, she and 2 of my other friends came over to my house and spent the whole 3 hours watching a movie with me while my wife was away. Of course, we sat right next to each other the entire time. No 3 in the series of backstories, I'd been taking Zoloft for anxiety and depression, and while it was helping me, I decided to stop taking it on the spur of the moment since it was making me feel worse. As a result, I decided to stop cold turkey. Despite the fact that I am a registered nurse and should have known better, I went ahead and did it, despite the negative consequences. My anxiety-filled manic weekend, during which I avoided everyone, was anxious, preoccupied, and acted rashly, was a pleasant surprise. Nothing like this has ever happened to me before, and I've never felt more alienated from anything in my life as I do now. So in the middle of a terrible weekend, I text a friend and tell her, I have strong feelings for you, and they have been building for a long time. I'm interested whether you have the same sentiment. There was nothing indecent, there were no cheesy pictures, and there were no technological advancements. She had a complete meltdown. Overall, he believes I am a horrible person due to the fact that I am married, and asks questions such as, how could you just throw your family away like that, and you just shattered our relationship. My best friend, as well as all of my other pals with whom we had been hanging out, had gone without a trace. I was able to get my medications back on track and am now back to normal. She has no desire to have anything to do with me. To clarify a couple of points, I recognize that what I did was wrong, but it seemed to be utterly out of character for me, particularly at such a fragile and vulnerable time in my life. She doesn't seem to be bothered by the fact that she was conversing with a married man on a daily basis. I feel she is exaggerating her concerns. I'm not going to tell my wife about it since it would be stupid. While I tried to cheat or even establish an emotional connection with someone, it did not work out. There was no damage done, right? Fortunately, we are all professionals who retain our professionalism at work, despite the fact that it is extremely humiliating. With the exception of weird internet strangers, I have no one else to express this to, and it's driving me mad. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Edit. I should clarify that, yes, I love my wife, and that, like all of you, I am a person with feelings and flaws. My buddy was correct in putting me in my place. I'm sorry I lost her as a friend, but it was probably for the best because, well, clearly, it has given me the chance to reevaluate my priorities and work on improving my marriage. Thanks for reading my story.